Welcome back to Rockology. This is Matt and Jason. Chris is on vacation in the Cayman Islands, so it's just the two of us tonight. And you just heard Psycho California, a brand new track off of the Hotel Diablo album. And here we go.
Ring-a-ding.
All right, we're going to switch you over.
Cool.
All right, and on the phone right now we have the lead singer for Hotel Diablo, Rich. How do you say your last name? Is it Stitch?
That's correct, man.
All right, great. I appreciate you coming on the show. Really excited to have you on the show.
You got it, brother.
And one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on the show is I heard the album, and I thought this album was really, really good. And
thanks, man.
I know there's been a lot of talk about this as like a new supergroup that's being put together, but I don't look at it that way. I think it's a collection of some talented guys all coming together and putting together a great album, I think. And and that's basically why I wanted to have you on the show. Not to mention that you guys are going to be playing the festival this week. So, but
yeah, the festival is going to be great. I know we're really looking forward to that. And I'm flattered if people want to refer to us as a supergroup. But I mean, you are right. We're just four guys that love playing some rock and roll, and I think that's kind of how we got this far. We didn't really think too much about that. We got together, played a few shows, ran through some covers. But I think that was the chemistry we realized, we're doing something for fun. And it was a mutual feeling. We're like, you know what, let's do this for real, And we always just had that old school mentality, we just, like people say, you keep it real, and I think there's no egos with this band, and everybody's just kind of looking out for each other, and really, really doing it as a team,
Yeah, and just so people out there know, your background somewhat, I know you were the lead singer for Adler's Appetite for, how many years was that?
We did that, I believe that was a 2-year run. It was supposed to be actually 2 days, they needed someone to fill in over the weekend, but it ended up being 2 years, and it was a great time, traveled the world, got to meet a lot of people, and especially playing with Steven. I grew up loving Guns N' Roses, so to be sharing the stage with them, playing to South America, playing in Europe, it was great.
Yeah, and is that where you met Alex Grossi, your guitar player, as well?
Yeah, that's right. And I think we both left around the same time, and that was the thing where we were like, well, we wrote with Adler, and I had a few ideas, he had a few ideas, and with Gilby Clarke, I went in with my other band, Lady Jack, and Gilby reached out and was like, hey, I heard you got a new band. You want to come in, track some stuff, So, it all happened pretty quickly, and, we kind of wrote up the tunes, went in there, and that was another chemistry working with Gilby. Just that old school vibe, I always try to push for something a little more modern, but it was such a good relationship with him because he would just try to keep it simple, just be more like Mystique with certain ideas, and it was great because his knowledge with that sound and with the guitars, it's such a guitar-oriented band, I feel, and having him knowing all the gear, and his guitar collection is just insane. I've never seen so many guitars in one room before, So I know for Alex, it was like, holy shit, well, what kind of sound do you want, It's fun.
Yeah, most people out there already know, I'm sure, that Gilby Clarke was part of Guns N' Roses, also Rockstar, Supernova, and most people don't know he actually played with Heart for a while.
That's right, man.
And I was really excited when I saw him playing for Heart, and that was a really great show when he was playing with them. But I guess in a way, because I know you mentioned Lady Jack, and is that how you originally came across or crossed paths with Gilby? Was with Lady Jack, or was it?
Yeah, we actually, me and the guitar player Robo, we showed up at one of Gilby's shows. I believe it was the Dragonfly. We sent him a CD, and we're like, hey, check it out. And then next thing you know, it's called us, hey, come in, and it's just, I think things just happen so organically from that beginning, you know what I mean? And it's like, you hear stories of bands play a few shows and get signed, and it's just kind of funny because I think with Hotel Diablo, that's basically what happened, We played a few shows, it started off, let's just play songs that we like, and songs that we wanted to hear live, and no one will ever play them. And that was how it was, and yeah, we played, six or something shows, and then we got picked up, and the record's going to come out worldwide. So, everybody in the band is very thankful and grateful, and it's just, we're all stoked, And then to be headlining the Sunset Strip Music Festival right after Manson, down to Whiskey, it's awesome. Like a lot of great things happening right now in our camp, you know.
Yeah, I was going to ask you because I know how you and Alex got together, but how about Mike Duda and Mike Peck? How do you say his last name?
Mike Dubke and Mike Duda. I mean, they've been playing together, I don't know, for like 15 years or something. So, or 10 years, 15 years, something. And, I mean, yeah, we all knew Alex was friends with them, and it's kind of a thing where Alex just reached out, hey, you want to be like a rhythm section? You know, you guys are already tight together, and you want to just, you know, we all kind of brought each other into the fold, you know, and that's the thing. Like, when we went and did those first couple shows for fun, I was like, holy fuck, these guys are like brutal, just like brutally heavy, brutally tight. And I was like, dude, you can't pass this up, you know what I mean? Like, you feel that kind of chemistry, you got to do something with it. And
well, I mean, in a way, because I know Rick or Alex and you knew each other, and then these two guys, I mean, you guys go on stage and you guys start playing some shows. You guys haven't played together, and the chemistry that the four of you guys had together, I mean, that had to be pretty amazing for you on your end. I mean, because I know you've worked, like I said, you're working with Lady Jack. I know you do some solo stuff as well, and working with Adler's Appetites. So to get the four of you guys together and just go on stage and have that chemistry so quickly, is that something you've experienced before, or is that just something that?
I think there's like different. I mean, I've felt this before with certain projects, but with these guys, it just feels like everything just keeps happening. You know what I mean? Like, it's a band that doesn't let themselves get in the way of themselves. You know what I mean? Like, I know with Adler, there was certain things that were kind of a factor in the band where, you know, and then with like Lady Jack and stuff. I mean, every band's different, and you know, I mean, this band's not perfect. I'm sure like there's, you know, certain things that every band goes through, you know, but I mean, for the most part, it's just. I mean, all systems go. Here we are, you know, we're fucking going for it, and it's great.
All right, so I guess working with Gilby Clarke, because this is something I'm not familiar with because I don't play. And what's it like going into the studio? I mean, so I know you've laid down some music prior to that, but what was it like working with him in the studio? How does he work? It's
great. I mean, he basically you do your thing. You know what I mean? His whole thing is capturing the band as they are. You know, so if you're doing something, it's like we try everything. You know what I mean? There's no shooting down ideas. It's, you know, you may think you have it, and then he's like, hey, try this, you know? And that's kind of the one thing where he's a singer, he's a guitar player. So, I mean, it's a good soundboard to bounce ideas off of. So, I mean, it's very relaxed. Like, he's not yelling at you or anything, you know what I mean? He really lets the artist come out, you know?
Yeah, he's not sitting there going, you got it wrong, do it again. He's not like right. He's not like the Mutt Lange type of producer where do it 100 times until he gets it right or a certain
Is there any significance behind the name of the band?
Yeah, it's Jason. That's Jason, our producer, and he wanted to ask: is there any significance for the name of the band, Hotel Diablo?
I mean, Duda, he came up with it, so kudos to him. But I think like the running vibe in the band is like that. There's like a lot of dark past, I mean, with every guy in the band, and I think that's part of the chemistry we feel when we play. Like when I'm writing the lyrics, you're just writing for the band, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, they're coming out of me, but it's kind of like with the name of the band, Hotel Diablo. It's that dark feel, it's that dark place that we check into, you know. And I think tying in like the Psycho California, that's the same feel, you know.
I don't know if anybody out there's. I mean, I know the album's available right now on iTunes and digital download. The album's going to be released on September 25th, CD hard copy, domestically as well as abroad. But the one thing I noticed about it, and I have to ask you this question, is I love the album cover. The album cover, just the red and the car on the side of the desert road, and just I don't know who the model was you have there on the album cover or where that idea came from, but it's just, in my opinion, it's one of the best album covers I've seen in a couple of years.
I appreciate that. I mean, the concept behind it is exactly that. It's like, man, I don't know, you live out in LA, you live out in Hollywood, it's a classic story, man. You see a lot of fucked up shit, you know? And that's the idea, is like, you're either running towards something or you're running from something, or you're doing both of those at the same time. And that's what we were trying to capture with this album. And I mean, I guess maybe you could say it's a concept album because all these stories, they are a collection in one way or another. They're all related, you know? And that's kind of the color and the tone and everything, like keeping it simple, not trying to put some crazy graphics to get in the way of the idea. You know, when you look at it, we want you to feel a certain way, obviously, but that's what draws you into the music, and you get to hear it. You know, and I think having the hard copy, it's going to be one of those things where people can hold in their hand, and you know, there's a booklet that comes with it. It's got all the lyrics in it. There's more photos. It's really like we really try to do it. You know, how you used to do it back in the day. You know, like digital's great because everyone can download it, but I mean, having something in your hand, it changes everything. You know, and I know we feel that way. Everyone in the band feels that way. It's like having vinyl. You know, is it a pain in the ass to carry like 100 vinyl records around with you? Yeah, but I mean, if you're at home and you put that on, it becomes an experience. You know, instead of just download, play it, and then then you forward it to the next song. You know,
I think you hit it right there. It's an experience. It's an experience of going home or wherever it is, and you're putting the album on, looking at the booklet or the sleeve or what have you, and just getting engrossed into the music and what the music's about. And I think sometimes with the digital downloading and downloading a track here and there, sometimes you need the whole album to get the flow of the album, what's going on with the album. Like you said, this is possibly a concept album, so I could hear that when I'm listening to the album, but if you're picking one track here, one track there, you may not get that. And for me and for my brother, we get together, we open up some beers and stuff, and we sit there, put the music on, and we just listen to it. And we get into the music because that's what we grew up doing, and that's what we're doing right now. And that's why we're doing this radio show, because we love the music. And hearing you say that, I mean, that's what it's really all about. So I'm going to be picking up the hard copy. I already have a copy of the album, but I'm going to get a hard copy when it comes out. So you've already got me double dipping, so congratulations there.
Awesome, man.
But one thing I wanted to ask you, I mean, I know you just signed to a brand new record label, Scarlet Records, which is in Europe and Italy, and Entertainment One here in the U.S. Now, what was the process like? Because I know a lot of bands are trying to be picked up and get picked up by a label. So what exactly was that process like? And was there something that this particular label did for you guys that said, yeah, this is the right label that we want to go with? Because
I feel like, you know, with these guys, it was more for us. You know what I mean? Like, I know North America is a great market, but I think, you know, not to cut out the North American market, but I mean, these were guys that just understood and didn't want to say, hey, use this artwork or use these songs. They were passionate about it, you know what I mean? It's like having a manager and agent that really truly believes in you, you know, and I think with these guys, that's what it was. It was just a mutual feeling where when the record comes out, I think everyone's really excited, and that was the whole thing about putting the record out, you know, as a unit, you know. I mean, overseas, things are done definitely different over there, and it's more, there's fans that, like, the record's out now, but they won't download it. They want the CD, you know, and I think that's what we like. It's like those are dedicated fans. So with this label, I mean, we were a few different offers and stuff, but with these guys, it just made the most sense. You know what I mean? The offer was right, and like I said, there's the guys that believed in us and, you know, wanted the artist to be the artist, you know, and I think to find that these days, it's kind of hard, you know?
Well, I mean, not only that, but you're in good company. Entertainment One currently carries Bush.
It's huge, yeah.
Chicken Foot, Black Label Society. Those are some big bands. Not to mention they're huge in Europe with the hard heavy metal, I mean the thrash, the hard metal, and some melodic metal as well. So they're huge in Europe, so you're definitely going to get the distribution in Europe. And the fact that Entertainment One's picking you guys up here, I mean, that just bodes really well. And I'm glad that you guys were able to get picked up and you guys are going to get distributed, because that's probably the most frustrating thing for a lot of fans of music, is trying to actually get a hold of a physical copy of an album that isn't an import. And so
for sure, I mean, with them too, it's like, yeah, you could just put it up on your website, but who's really going to know about it? With these guys, it's like they are putting in the effort to put it out there, and that's one thing I don't think you get just from having the digital iTunes. You know, I mean, you can put up a link, but that's like being in good company with these guys and their other artists. It's like, for us, it's a win-win. You know, Scarlet and then you won. It's a great thing.
So there's a couple questions I want to ask you about some of the tracks on the album. Maybe you could talk about a couple of them, and
sure.
Like Psycho California.